بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Allah sent the Qur'an to people who think. لِقَوْمِ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. And in previous lectures of mine, I have declared, I have demonstrated to you that the Qur'an explains one of the most dangerous of all phenomena in history, namely the phenomenon of the Antichrist. It is there in the Qur'an. And I'm speaking not just to my Muslim audience, but my Christian audience as well. Because the Christians are now listening to me, and the Christians are now studying the Qur'an as they never did before. Because the Ottoman Empire oppressed them to such an extent, they hated Islam. So Allah has spoken in the Qur'an about the Antichrist or Dajjal. The problem is you have to think. You have to think. I have explained to you that verse of Surah Al-Sad of the Qur'an. Sulaiman alayhi salam is ruling the world from the holy state or the Khilafah state of Israel in Jerusalem. It's the ruling state in the world. I shouldn't have to spend time proving to you it was the ruling state in the world. You are smart enough to understand that. And then Allah gave him a vision. I should not have to demonstrate the proof to you. It's a vision. You're smart enough. Save me that time. And in this vision, he saw someone sitting on his throne. And Allah speaks about him, the one sitting on the throne, as a jasad. This is the verse that we return to again and again and again and again, until you are tired of listening to me on this verse. And yet they wouldn't listen. And yet they would not listen. بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا سُلَيْمَانَ وَأَلْقَيْنَا عَلَى كُرْسِيهِ جَسَدٍ. We tested Solomon, alayhi salam, with something that caused him distress. And we cast a jasad on his throne. He is the wisest of all men. Every prophet of Allah has warned his people about the Antichrist. So he already knows the subject of the Antichrist. The Messiah is going to rule the world from Jerusalem. The Antichrist wants to impersonate the Messiah, so he also wants to rule the world from Jerusalem, from the holy state of Israel. But he is an evil being, the Antichrist or Dajjal. And so Sulaiman alayhi salam immediately understood the vision. And then he made this dua or prayer. But the dua is what gives us the proof of his understanding of the vision. قَالَ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. He said, "Oh Allah, forgive me." And he's not asking for forgiveness for any sin he committed. No. Why can't you think? Why can't you think? What's wrong with you? You can't think anymore. No, he's making a general statement, asking for forgiveness for the sins he has committed. Every human being must make that, including all the prophets of Allah. He's asking for forgiveness before he asks for something. That's it. So don't go searching for something that he did. Have some sense. And grant, O Allah, that none can inherit my kingdom after me. And the second meaning, grant that there will be no kingdom comparable to mine. It is as plain as daylight He does not want that jasad to ever rule over his kingdom. He prefers that his kingdom should perish, but that jasad must not rule over his kingdom. And Allah accepted his prayer. And as soon as Solomon died, the kingdom collapsed and has never been restored. If you are a Christian, come to the Qur'an to explain to you what you did not know before. That it was because of this vision that you knew nothing about until the Qur'an was sent down, that Solomon made that prayer, and Allah answered his prayer, and the kingdom perished after he died and was never restored. So who is the jasad? It's another subject. What is a jasad? That's not our subject today. That's another subject. Go to my book, if you have the time to read, the Qur'an and the jasad, the Qur'an, the Dajjal and the jasad, and that book would explain it to you. All my books can be downloaded free of charge. I earn my modest livelihood as a writer, and yet every single book I have written is there on the internet, and you can download it free of charge. Allah is the one who provides risk. So I get my biryani, I get my couscous from Allah. And so now it is plain, it is clear as daylight that the Antichrist was shown in this vision, that the jasad is the Antichrist, it is Dajjal. If you agree with me, then in the comment section put an R, that's all, right. Put an R, and put your city and your country. No matter how many you are, put it. But if you differ with me, and you have the right to do so, then put a W that my answer is wrong, and then tell me what is right. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.